All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome to day number 2 of the Trading Transformation series. Thank you, and I appreciate all of you guys for watching and tuning in for day 1. Me kind of explaining the whole reason why I'm doing this and the whole reason behind this entire series and the reason behind my entire YouTube channel moving forward. And today might be a little jump scare for you guys, but I need to explain some things again before we even get into our first lesson. So this is kind of going to be like a primer to help you guys get your mind right and help you guys understand what it takes to become a profitable trader. Before we can even get into any sort of education, because a lot of you guys are going to come into this thinking education is what I need. I just need to learn more. I need to learn the strategy. I need to learn this. I need to learn that. And it's not the case. Strategy is honestly like far from the determining factor of you guys being profitable or not. And the real determining factor is going to be time and consistency in the way that you act, in the way that you operate. So what I kind of like to talk about is skills. We can treat trading as a skill where I love using this analogy. If you tell a basketball player or sit someone who's never played basketball down before and tell them, every single day for a month long, they have to watch an hour-long video of basketball training videos. So they don't get a basketball, they just have to sit down and they just watch these training videos going over the basics, dribbling a ball, shooting a ball, and between the legs, behind the back, layup, jump shot, three-pointer, whatever, right? And then at the end of that month, you give them a ball and you have them play basketball, right? They're going to be at a certain level after watching those videos. And then on the contrary, if you give just another person who's never played basketball in their entire life, give them a ball and say, look, you have an entire month and you have a single hour every single day and you just have to figure it out. They've never played basketball. They don't know how it works, but they have to figure it out. All they know is the rules and, what they're supposed to do. Odds are the person that has the basketball and is able to practice and just learn from mistakes over and over again is going to be in a lot better position than the person who just sat on their ass watching basketball skill videos. Which now leads me to how this correlates to trading. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as a skill, where if we sit down a trader and we say, hey, look, watch this month-long series, or, this literally year-long series of me teaching you guys how to trade, concepts on trading. And if you guys don't apply it, if you guys don't practice it, you guys won't get anywhere. If you guys just watch it and think that you're learning stuff by watching it, and then the next day you just boom, try and apply it and instantly expect success, you're not going to be successful. Versus if you guys were to just sit your ass down, sit in front of the chart and practice and drill, maybe you guys don't even again, let's apply this to trading. Let's say we sit someone down and say, hey, just watch. Again, for a month, you have an hour each day and you guys are going to watch trading videos, and then, boom, see how they act in the market. And then we have another person who's never done trading in their entire life, and the person just sits them down and says, figure it out. You have an hour each day for a month long. I guarantee you, without a doubt in my mind, that the person who has to actually be trading, live trading, is going to be a better trader, because they're going to start seeing patterns, repetitions within the market. They're going to fail and they are going to learn from it. So what happens when we can combine the two? What happens when we can watch videos that are helpful, that teach us skills, that can hopefully get us over some of those beginner mistakes, some of those beginner failures that we have, and then along with drilling it and learning, we are going to be a great trader. Similarly, with the basketball analogy, if we give them the opportunity to sit down during that month and watch an hour long of tutorial videos on beginner videos of people playing basketball, and then right after that, they get an hour to practice it and to drill it, they're going to be a lot better than those two people who only had one of each. And it's the same thing with trading. Okay, so if I teach you guys a strategy, or if I teach you guys concepts, or if I teach you guys, or if I give you guys a lesson, it's not as simple as just sitting down and digesting the YouTube video and writing notes on it, because that's just step one. Step two is actually taking action and practicing it and repeating it. And I feel like that's this hole that people get sucked into, is this YouTube just black hole of information where they sit down and they watch every single 2 billion ICT videos and they never end up applying it. And the only time that they try and apply it is when market opens, and they only get like one shot because they hear TJR or they hear ICT say, hey, only take 1 to 2 trades a day. And then it's like, wow, so we're consuming way more than we're practicing. And that's the biggest issue. We need to be practicing almost equally with consuming, and then we get to the point where we've consumed everything that we need possible, because same thing with trading and basketball. Okay, if we think about basketball, the best basketball players in the world, the skills that they have, they're just really good at the basics. We think, what makes Stephen Curry one of the best players in the world? He's just really insanely good at shooting the basketball. If we compare Stephen Curry to one of the Globetrotters are arguably have better, more crazy skills, but they're not as good at shooting as Stephen Curry. It's the same thing, I've heard this analogy before, as being healthy. If you want to get healthy, stop trying to look in the 1% and look at the 99%. If you want to get healthy, that special running shoe isn't going to make you healthier. That little Whoop bracelet on your wrist that tracks your heart rate, that tracks everything, isn't going to make you healthier. What's going to make you healthier? 4 things: sleep, working out, hydration, and eating healthy. Those 4 things. If you do those 4 things really, really well, you're going to be one of the healthiest people ever. And it's the same exact thing with trading. So if you guys can just understand the basics, which is what I'm going to be teaching you guys here, and honestly, like throughout all of this, I'm going to be teaching you guys everything. But it's going to get to the point where you guys, again, like I was saying in the first video, where you guys can kind of pull away and be like, look, I think I have everything possible. I think I have everything that I need. Where you guys have to step away and then just practice and practice and practice and fail over and over and over and over again. Another analogy that I like to use is a construction worker. A really bad construction worker versus a really good construction worker. If we give the really bad construction worker a toolbox and blueprints and all the tools necessary to build a house, and it's their first time building a house ever in their entire life, they're going to build a really shitty house. Versus if you give a really good construction worker who's built millions of houses before, that same toolbox, those same tools, and the same blueprint, they're going to build that house much better than that shitty construction worker. And the only difference is repetition. So if we think about that shitty construction worker, the first house that they build, boom, 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 it's going to be really bad. And they're going to be like, man, that was horrible. There's a bunch of things that I can work on, and I can identify the things that I can work on. Maybe I sit down and I watch the really good construction worker and see, okay, what did he do here? What did he do here? Okay, got it. Boom. Build a second house. Boom, 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 boom. It's a little bit better than the first house, but it still sucks. And then he builds 5 houses, and they continuously get better than that first house that he built. And then he builds 1,000 houses, and that 1,000th house is going to be so much better than the first house that he built. And then the 10,000th house is going to be so much better than that 1,000th house that he's built. So it's not the tools that are the issue. It's not the concepts in trading that's the issue. It's not the strategy in trading that's the issue. It's the repetition and it's the practice that's the issue. It's the time that's the issue. You guys are lacking time and you guys are lacking repetition within the market, and that's your biggest issue. That's it. So when you guys are sitting here watching these videos, I need you guys to understand that concept and recircle back to this video. This video is going to be rather short of me just explaining this. Okay, sorry, I was recording a YouTube video for like a day in the life. But anyways, this video is going to be rather short because I need you guys to understand this concept. Where these videos are going to go on forever because I'm going to continue trying to provide value, because right now I'm a good construction worker and you guys are bad construction workers, right? You guys are unprofitable. If you guys are watching this, you guys have never traded before. You guys are on your first house. I'm going to lay out tools for you guys. I'm going to give you guys your toolbox, and then I'm going to give you guys your blueprint through strategy, through confluence, okay? But I can only give you guys those pieces. I can't force you guys to build your houses. You guys have to take it upon yourself to build your houses. You guys have to take it upon yourself day in and day out, depending on how much time you guys have within every single day and how bad you guys want it, to see how many houses you guys can build. So let's say, again, we take two people who have never built a house in their entire life, and we give them the same toolbox and the same blueprint and the same tools necessary to build a house. And the first bad construction worker builds one house every single day. Will he eventually get to that good construction worker spot? Will he eventually get there? Yes. Okay. His timeline is going to be however long. Let's say for him to be a good construction worker, it's going to take 10 years for him to be able to perfectly make houses over and over and over again. And there's always going to be room for improvement for him. Now, let's say we have that second construction worker and we give him the same tools, the same toolbox, the same blueprint, the same materials, but he makes 5 houses a day. He is going to have way more time building houses. He's going to have way more repetitions. He's going to have way more experience. He's going to have way more mistakes than the person who just builds 1 house a day. So by the time that 5-year period is up, the person who built 5 houses a day compared to the person that built 1 house a day is going to be so much better. But again, with trading, this is why it's difficult. With building a house, are they leaving any of their tools out? Are they straying from the blueprint? No. If they stray from the blueprint, they'll never be good at building houses. If we go back to that construction worker example, if we take let's add a third one to the mix. That third construction worker, he has the same tools, he has the same blueprints, he has the same materials as those other 2 guys. And he makes 10 houses a day. But he leaves out pieces of the blueprints every single time he builds a house. Every single time he builds a house, he builds it differently in the wrong way, and he doesn't apply and doesn't use all the tools necessary. By the end of that 5-year period, that guy will be in a worse position than the person who built 1 house every single day for 5 years, consistently, doing it the right way. He will also be so much farther behind the person who built 5 houses a day correctly for 5 years straight. So how can we apply this to trading? A lot of you guys who literally know everything necessary in order to turn profitable are not profitable. And why is that the case? Because you're not doing what you're supposed to. You're not following the blueprint. You're not following your trading plan. You're not following your strategy. You're acting on emotion. You're trading not based on confluences. You're not trading the same every single day. You're switching your strategy every single day. It's the same thing. Imagine if we throw another construction worker into the mix. We have 4 construction workers now. But the 4th construction worker, we give him different tools and different blueprints every single month. That's what you guys are doing with your trading strategy. You guys are implementing a new strategy every single month, and you're pretty much putting yourselves back to square one. That person, if he gets a new blueprint and new toolboxes and new materials every single month, he will be nowhere near, again, where that person who did 5 houses the right way, consistently, for 5 years, he won't be near them. He won't be near the person who built 1 house consistently, correctly, for 5 years straight. And he'll probably be on that equal level of the person who skipped out on steps in the blueprint and somebody who didn't use the tools necessary. So we have to understand how we're acting within the market. We have to act with discipline, and we have to act with consistency. And those are probably two of the biggest lessons and two of the hardest things to learn within trading. So before I wanted to get into any sort of tools or strategy or concepts, I need you guys to circle back to this video every time you guys feel yourself straying away. Because as you guys start straying away, you guys are literally starting new. You guys are setting yourselves back to square one by watching a new strategy, right? By implementing a new thing that you guys saw on YouTube. Versus if you guys take just what you guys know will turn you profitable, the basics, just like how Steph Curry is the best shooter in the world. Why? Because he shot over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? And he's really good at that one simple thing. He's also really good at other simple things. He's really good at dribbling the ball. Is Steph Curry one of the best basketball players in the world because he's good at a triple behind the back, spin move, reverse layup? No. It's so advanced. He doesn't need that. He needs the basics. He needs to know how to shoot the ball really well, and he needs to know how to dribble the ball super low at high speeds, super high at high speeds, but it's just dribbling. He doesn't need to know any fancy moves, fancy anything. If you think of Nikola Jokic, back-to-back MVPs from like 2 or 3 years ago, he's just a big, there's nothing special about him besides he makes shots, he hits like 2-pound dribbles, and he just puts the ball in the basket. He's really good at passing the ball. That's it. It's the basics that make you good. So that's my issue with a lot of these traders out here, because they keep throwing different strategies at you guys, and that's not what I want to do. What I want to do with this is not even necessarily give you guys a strategy. It's just to lay out the tools and the blueprint and the materials necessary for you guys to learn how to build a house on your own, to learn how to become a profitable day trader on your own. Because, again, similarly with those construction workers, with those NBA players, Stephen Curry is really good at shooting the ball. Kyrie Irving is really good at dribbling. They're both really great players in the NBA. But their skills are on two different basic things. And it's what works best for them. Obviously, every NBA player is really good at all of the basics, and that's what we want to strive to do as beginners or as traders. But it's the same thing within trading. My best ability within trading is going to be different than your best ability in trading. And once you figure out your best ability, you're going to utilize it. If my best thing in basketball is shooting the ball, and my worst thing is passing, it would be a disservice for me to be the best basketball player possible for me to just continuously pass the ball and never shoot it. It's the same thing in trading. If you guys suck at a concept, maybe you guys can take time out of your day to drill it, to get better at it, just like a basketball player who's bad at dribbling but really good at shooting. Okay, but what would they want to do while they are still bad at that skill? They're going to want to utilize their good skills. So for me, if I'm really good at executing on a single concept, why should I come through and try and add a new concept and add a new thing, add a new tool, add a new material that I've never used before, that I don't understand completely, that I'm really bad at, and try and build a house with it, try and make it a part of my game, try and make it a part of my strategy? It doesn't make any sense. You have to utilize what you're good at. And then from there, you utilize what you're good at, and then along with that, you guys are able to build upon your worst skills in silent, in darkness, in the gym, when the light's down and you guys are working on your house. Maybe you suck at sanding things off. You just spend like 10,000 hours sanding, and then you'll be good. And then you can utilize those two things. And that's what trading is. I'm going to give you guys concepts, and I'm going to give you guys tools in order to become a profitable trader. But you guys are going to be good or better at certain tools than everybody else. Okay, there are some things that are going to click in your head that make sense to you. You have to use what makes sense to you, because if it doesn't make sense to you and if it doesn't work for you, don't use it at all. Because it's not helping you. And maybe you do want to get good at it because you know it's a fundamental and you know it's necessary to be a really good trader. Just like understanding what a candlestick is, like the open and the close. That's a really basic thing. If we can understand that, we have to understand that to be good at trading. And maybe it takes longer for you to understand that. So what are you going to do? You're going to drill it in silence. And I know I was just talking about that with a beginner concept, but we need to think about that with our strategy and with how we take trades. Because if I introduce order blocks and it really makes sense to your friend Jeremy, but it makes no sense to you, and Jeremy's hitting 1,000 winning trades on it every single day, day in and day out, and you're like, I want to be like Jeremy, or I want to be like TJR, who's trading this certain way, but you don't understand how it works, or it doesn't make sense to you, you won't be a good trader. And instead, if you're really good at entering off of fair value gaps or spotting a liquidity sweep and entering based off of that, and that's what works for you, it wouldn't make sense for you guys to try and only enter off of order blocks if you guys know that liquidity is your forte. You guys have to do what's best for you and what makes sense for you and what you're best at. And then if you want to add something new to the mix, don't add it in live trading scenarios. Add it in backtesting. Add it in private until you get so good at it where it's literally so overwhelmingly obvious that you need to add it to your arsenal, to your toolbox, and then you'll have another tool that you're really good with. And then that's what will make you a good trader. So I'm going to end this video here, and hopefully that changed your perspective on trading. And maybe, you guys are a 5-year-long trader, and this was the missing piece for you. And you guys can be done off of this, because a lot of you guys, so many of you guys have already gone through my boot camp. You guys already understand the fundamentals of trading. And I'm going to start with the fundamentals on the next trading video, on this next transformation video. I'm going to start explaining candlesticks. A lot of you guys already understand that. A lot of you guys are pros with that already. A lot of you guys really understand strategy. You guys literally have the tool. You guys already have the toolbox, the tools, the materials, and the blueprints in front of you. And you guys just haven't been practicing. You guys have just been watching. You guys have just been consuming. Or you guys have been consuming and not practicing enough. Or in some people's case, where you guys are full-on beginners, you guys haven't consumed at all, and you guys haven't practiced at all. But I had to start this transformation off by putting your guys' head in the right spot, by understanding that trading is a skill and teaching you guys how skills are made. It's by consistently doing the same thing over and over and over again until you get really good at it. So with that knowledge, I will see you guys in the next video where we can start adding tools to our toolbox. All right? I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys. My mouse is not working. In the next video, whenever I'm able to stop this. There we go. Peace out. I love you guys.